Hey, how's it going? I am Shane with WNYBikes, and I'm here. It's December 2023, and I am here to talk about a few things. Uh, First, I want to thank everybody who nominated and voted for me for the Go Bikes People's Choice Cyclist of the Year. You all are amazing, and it was greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, I did not win, but it really means a lot to me to become a finalist and to learn how appreciative people are of everything I've been doing. Um, I do want to thank the WNYBikes leadership team that we really developed this year. Consists of Scott Gregory, Jim Budinsky, Rob Brandon, Carl Dreschel, Tom McKay, and Rick Singer. Thank you guys for believing in my vision and to help make Western New York one of the best cycling communities. I want to thank the WNYBikes crew for making our rides safe each and every week. And I want to thank everybody who has ridden with us for making our rides fun. Seeing and hearing all the laughter, the conversations, the friendships, and everything has motivated us to keep going. And we've already begun planning for 2024 to have another amazing season. I want to show appreciation to all the other bike groups and organizations. Slow Spokes of Buffalo, Eastside Bike Club, Western New York Mountain Bike Association, Slow Roll Buffalo, and Go Bike. I also want to show appreciation to all the bike shops, many of them which host bike rides and bike events. Beaton Cyclery, Campus Wheelworks, Chainring Rhythm, Eric Cycle Works, Freewheel Bike Shop, Handlebar Cycle Company, Kickstand Culture, Love and Sprockets, Loud Performance, and Loud Underground. North Star Bikes, Rick's Cycle Shop, Shikluna Bike Shop, and South Buffalo Wheelhouse. Thank you all for partnering, collaborating, working with us, letting us ride with you, and you coming out to ride with us. Of those, Rick's Cycle Shop, Freewheel Bike Shop, Kickstand Culture, Love and Sprockets, and South Buffalo Wheelhouse, thank you so much for volunteering your time and resources to help us on all the WNYBikes rides that we've had this season. You all are incredible. Many of you know me for my work and dedication with WNYBikes, and for all the rides and events we do. We host 3 to 5 events a week from May through September. We got the 20-week period where we're doing rides on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Sunday mornings. We're doing mountain biking, long distance, and all sorts of other events. So I absolutely love doing it. And I'll explain why shortly when I tell my story. But I want to make note of some other amazing people in the cycling community that deserve recognition for all they do for our cycling community right here in Buffalo. Start off, Rob Brandon. Together, we came up with the idea of WNYBikes in 2021, with the idea of just sharing all the bike rides for all the bike groups. We had no plans of doing any group rides. We just wanted a central location to share everything that's going on in the Western New York cycling community. He did take 2022 a step back from cycling in 2022, but in 2023, he stepped right back in, really helping organize, planning rides, safety, and so much more for WNYBikes. And also for the past couple years, he's been helping plan and organize Shareland's bike rodeo. It's for a young girl who was killed while riding her bike. He works along with her mother, Wendy, and many others in the Cleveland School District. Next is Scott Gregory for helping and assisting with WNY Bikes since I started WNY Bikes in April 2022. He's helped in everything before that with West Seneca Bikes as well. But I want to show appreciation to him for being one of the most dedicated and passionate riders. Always looking out for everyone's safety, not only on WNY Bikes rides, but everybody rides that he is on. He will not hesitate to jump in to protect riders, their safety, make sure everybody is having fun and safe ride. If he sees something that needs to be corked or somebody trying to cut through, he will not hesitate to go right in front to make sure everybody gets through safely. So the next one is Joe Kremlish. He's currently the president of Western New York Mountain Bike Association. For all he does, running that group, organizing to maintain the trails, not only used by mountain bikers, but for hikers, families, and so many more people. You can find where those trails are right on their website. He hosts Wednesday night No Drop, No One Left Behind mountain bike rides, mostly at Spraguebrook, some at Darien Lake, some other places, where he teaches mountain biking and mountain bike safety. He also hosts the mountain bike rodeos for kids throughout Western New York. And I also know he's currently working with the Village of Lancaster on a few projects. The next one is D, owner of Loud Performance in Bemis Point. He has built over 7 miles of mountain bike trails that are free for anybody to come and use. He's currently the vice president of WNYBikes. He does host a Wednesday night kids mountain bike night and a Thursday night adult mountain bike night. A lot of times there's food, there's drinks, there's all sorts of stuff going on. It's a huge thing down there. If you can make it down there and you want to try mountain biking, it's a great place to go. He regularly sponsors many events in Western New York and Northwest Pennsylvania. And not only that, he's also donated a lot of bikes and his time and resources to many other organizations and schools, especially in his area. Next is George Johnson of Eastside Bike Club, who not only with the members of Eastside, they host the Saturday morning rides, but they also run a shop where people can earn bikes, and they are so active in the community, and not just with bikes, but with so much other stuff. They're always giving back. George is leading such an amazing group down there with amazing people. So definitely want to make sure you go check them out. And the last one I'm going to talk about is Noel Dill. He runs the Saturday morning Clarence Market rides. He does off-season pickup rides from October until May. He also does century rides and training for century rides. All these people I've named are so important and vital to the Western New York cycling community and give so much of their time and resources. Just such amazing people. So I want to thank you all so much for what you do for the cycling community. You do more than just ride your bikes, but you bring people together, you motivate, inspire, and just keep people riding. So keep up the great work. I want to make sure I recognize you guys. Now, you're probably wondering how I got into this and why I'm here and everything else. Well, it's a little bit of a long story, so let's get started. So about 11 years ago, I became a full-time single father, going through divorce. Two daughters, ages 1 and 4. Ended up getting custody with them, moving back to Buffalo, New York, to be close to family and stuff. And for the next couple years, just kind of going through the motions of life, just working, being a dad, taking care of my kids, eating, sleeping, and rinse and repeat. And about a year or two after I moved back here, I wanted to get my daughters my bikes, and I got a bike for myself from Walmart, so we can ride around the neighborhood and everything. And during this time, for probably the first 5 years, when my daughters would go down to Virginia to visit their mom for about the 8 weeks of the year, you'd find me at the bars, drinking. Anytime I can get my mom or my sister to watch my daughters on a Friday, Saturday night, I'd end up at the bar. Many times waking up the next morning with massive hangovers, only a couple hours of sleep. It wasn't good. So, 2017, I knew I had to do something different. So I decided to start working out, eating healthier, and during this time, and even before this, I always felt like I was missing something in my life. And I could never figure out what it was, and I think that's part of the reason why I would end up at the bars so much. So like I said, 2017, so I started making a change in my life. I lost 80 pounds, just wanted to become a different person. And I did this for my daughters and for myself. Well, towards the end of 2017, that's when, I think it was right around the time Uber got here. And so I started driving Uber Friday, Saturday nights, work out a deal with my mom to hang out at my house so I can go do that. And I did that for about a year and a half. Friday, Saturday nights, but it was I was making money instead of out drinking, but it was still very much of the same story. I'd be out till 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 8 o'clock, sometimes earlier when the girls get up, have to do everything. And, it was just another emotion I was going through. During this time, I still wasn't who I wanted to be, and I still felt like something was missing. Well, 2019, learning about this bike ride in the city of Buffalo that summer, I was like, hey, I got a bike. That sounds good. My daughter's going to visit their mom for 6 weeks. I'm going to go check it out. Well, realizing that most of my friends were bar friends. I tried for weeks to get people to come with me before my daughters left, and I couldn't find anyone. So I decided I'm going to go to a slow roll by myself. It took a lot of self-motivation, but I got there. And the first break, I walked off to the side to have a cigarette, and this older guy comes walking up to me, lights up a cigarette, and starts a conversation with me. Well, his name was Mark Mitri. He greeted me, was talking about this group, Slow Spokes, and, just having a good conversation. The second break, found each other again and continued our conversation. And it was nice. So I think it was like 2 weeks later, I ended up coming back by myself again. And he saw me. He's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Glad to see you back here again. And it was a good feeling. I ended up coming one more time by myself. And then the next time I had my sister with me. And I believe that was Silo City Ride. And there was like 1,500 people. It was ridiculous. You know, obviously the season, my daughters came back. We started going back through the regular motions. That December of 2019, I decided to finally admit that I had depression. And decided to talk to my doctor about it and got put on medication. That February, decided, you know, I really enjoyed that ride. I want to get a better bike and I want to do more riding with my daughters. So we went out. I went to Burt's, bought myself this Trek mountain bike, and went and got my daughters 2 decent bikes from Dick's Sporting Goods, not knowing much about bikes at the time. And then the pandemic hit. Well, we know how that went. So when things started opening back up in June, I saw a post on one of the group sites for the town of West Seneca. Somebody tagged this group called West Seneca Bikes. And so I checked it out and saw that he was going to start hosting a Sunday morning bike ride around 5 miles. I'm like, okay, I could do that. And my oldest daughter, she can do that. So me and her went. It was nice just to get out and ride with other people as a small group. And so I came back the next week. And I started talking to the guy who started it and hosting it, Chris Holmes. And came back a few more times. We kept talking and I kept hanging out afterwards. And the point of these rides were to map out the town of West Seneca for safe roads. What can be done to make the roads safer for cyclists. And so I decided I want to help out. Well, he couldn't make the 1 week and he wanted to keep the rides going. So he looks at me and goes, Shane, can you run next week's rides? Me, not good with public speaking at all. Nervous as can be, I said yes. So that next Sunday came. We were at the Birchfield Park in West Seneca near Union and Clinton. I was so nervous about public speaking, but it was time to start riding, so I just went with it. I led the ride. It was a great ride. Everybody had fun. I think there was about 15 people. And it was a good time. Through that, Chris, we found an opportunity for a bike pump track in the town of West Seneca, how to get it funded, everything. So Chris started working on that. And the point of this group was, we needed to build this group to get the recognition, to start putting West Seneca on the map and kind of forcing the town to do something. So, I was following Slow Spokes, and Mark Reachery did friend me. And so I sent a message to Mark. I was like, hey, how you doing? I want to buy a Slow Spoke shirt because he was selling those at the time. So I went to his house and picked up a Slow Spoke shirt and used that as an opportunity to talk to him about what we were doing with West Seneca Bikes. And he was telling me, about a Wednesday night ride at Old Man River, that next season I should come out, check it out, promote West Seneca Bikes, what we're doing. So that's what I did. I went and checked out the ride and everything, and it was a lot of fun, a lot more people. Started meeting so many great people. And kind of going back to West Seneca Bikes, I wanted to do more. The Sunday rides were not really taking off. We weren't getting really more than like 15, 20 people. So I wanted to, being that we were West Seneca Bikes, I was like, hey, let's team up with town West Seneca. So we teamed up with the West Seneca Farmers Market, which is put together by the Chamber of Commerce. And we started hosting rides there on Thursdays. About 3 or 4 weeks in, we had 45 riders and only 2 of us on support. I was leading and the other person was in the back. Between us, it was a mess. It was not safe. I wasn't good at planning routes at the time, and it stressed me out a lot. So I called Mark Mitri. I was like, hey, any chance you'd be able to help us out, or, have some, ask if anybody would volunteer to help us out on Thursdays. He reached out to Scott Gregory and asked his opinion, and Scott, who at this point has ridden with us once or twice, said, hey, let's help them out. They're doing great things, and this could really be something. So the following week, we had some slow spokes. And, they let me lead the ride, and they took care of the safety in between, of what was going on behind me. And we continued on until end of August. However, the farmers market was supposed to go till the end of September, but they canceled early. And while I was out one day in the summer with my neighbor, we stopped at Rusty Nickel and was talking to them about just things in general, and a few other people have been in there as well, and we knew they were big on cycling. Their first beer that they've ever brewed was pedal power or pedal pusher or something like that, and because of cycling. So we asked them, hey, can we host our last 3 rides here? Well, by the end of the 3 rides, everybody looked at me. We were averaging around 50, 60 people on the rides, and said, Shane, you need to have the rides here from now on. Well, I had so much fun doing all that stuff that summer that now the off season, my mind is just going, what else can I do? How can I do more? I want to do more, everything else. So I'm literally blowing up Chris's phone every once in a while with all these ideas. And he's like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, we could try that one. You just might have been a little bit too much. So April of 2022, as nervous as he be, Chris calls me up or sends me a message and says, Shane, I think you need to just take the Thursday night rides and run with it as your own group. He was nervous that it was going to ruin our friendship that we have created. And, well, in 2021, me and Rob Brandon met for dinner to talk about an idea of WNYBikes, of a central location to promote all of cycling in Western New York. Now, I already had the name. I actually already had the domain. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. So I contacted Scott Gregory and Mark, let them know what I was doing. They both said, hey, Shane, you got this. We got your back. It's like fantastic. So I started the Facebook page, and it's just been blowing up ever since. I got the website going, got the design, got all this stuff done with only about 3 weeks until we kick off the season. I started reaching out to all these local all these local businesses for sponsors. I started reaching out to national companies for giveaway items and everything else of what can I do to get people to come to the ride, to keep this ride going, to keep building it, and everything else. Kind of felt like I had to start over again. Well, I think like the first week we had like 30 people. The second week we were up to, I think it was like 40. Our highest total was 64 riders throughout that season. And I was giving away items. I had free items. Towards the end of the season, I was doing raffles to help, me pay for the website, the email account, and some other overhead costs. And we were averaging over 100 new users a month on WNYBikes. The two people that were there helped me every single week with full dedication was Scott Gregory and Jim Badinsky. So that off season, we were meeting for breakfast and stuff like that, and just talking. Rob, off of his year break in 2022, was ready to get going with us in 2023. So during my planning of 2023, reaching out, try to find sponsors for shirts, trying to find giveaway items, everything else, I ended up getting connected with 42 North and in East Aurora and One Eye Cat in Williamsville. To kind of backtrack a little, through 2020, 2021, and most of 2022, I was on my depression medication, and I don't think I could have ever done this without it. In 2020, I did see a therapist for about 6 months due to telemed and the opportunities that provided. But what I realized through all that is I found my sense of community. I found that part of me that was missing. And it was amazing. I finally was able to fulfill that void that I was trying to mask with other things, with overworking, over drinking, a lot of unhealthy life choices. So just kind of falling into this whole bike group by just showing up to that one Sunday, and Chris asking me to host a ride, that's when things really started changing. So I think it was around August of 2022 is when I was finally off my depression medication. Don't get me wrong, I still have my ups and downs. I didn't tell many people because I was embarrassed. For men, it's very different. It's kind of like growing up, we're made to feel like ashamed, like we're showing a weakness. But it made me doing something about it, maybe help me find my community, fill that void I was missing, and just being a part of something. So now we are at 2023, and we're getting everything going. We got these two new opportunities for rides. Trying to figure out when we can do them. Well, we can't compete with Slow Roll on Mondays. You have Slow Spokes, Campus Wheelworks, and Western New York Mountain Bike Association on Wednesdays. We want Fridays and Saturdays to ourselves, so the obvious choice was Tuesdays. But do we pick one or both? So we decided to split them 10 weeks each, and it worked out fantastic. I was able to get more sponsors for shirts, give away a lot of shirts, just doing so much more. We've, between 2022, we partnered with Rick Cycle Shop for our Thursday night ride, and Freewheel Bike Shop with Chris Holmes for mountain biking and some other special events. So 2023, when they both came back on to partner with us, Kickstand Culture was the obvious choice for our 42 North ride. And we went with Love and Sprockets for our Williamsville ride. So we're now working with 4 amazing bike shops. We're doing mountain biking events. We're doing so much more. And we're starting the planning of all this. So the season starts. Everything's going great. We got big crowds of people, but still small. We like it on the smaller side. We don't want to get a slow roll size. And one of the most important things is we're keeping our foundation of what me and Rob discussed of promoting everyone, because we don't want to take over. We want to enhance. We want to partner. We want to collaborate. We just want to help make Western New York the best cycling community it can be. And that's our goal. The rides just kind of happened. It wasn't the original plan, but we absolutely love it. We love everybody that comes out riding with us. All the partnerships, the friendships, the relationships, just everything that has come from it has been absolutely amazing. So we have all this stuff going on. Rob wants to start doing long distance rides. I'm doing mountain bike events with Chris. And so we're at the my second, I think Rob's third or fourth Shanne Bikes Rodeo in June. And I'm off to the side at my truck, and here comes Rick Singer to hide and have a cigarette with me. And, he's telling me how he would love to have a Sunday morning bike ride from Kaz Park in South Buffalo. I like him and said, Rick, WNYBikes is your platform. Have a ride. We will help you where we can. We will promote it. We will, make you part of our team. And it's your ride. Here's how we like things run that we've discussed. And he was ecstatic. I literally think, because that was on a Saturday, I think it was that Sunday, evening, is when I get a invite to be an admin for a new Sunday morning bike ride at Kaz Park. I didn't expect it to happen that quick, but he was so excited. He talked to Rob, and he just decided to run with it. So now we're adding on a Sunday ride. So now we're at 3 days a week, plus long distance rides, mountain biking, and everything else. And it's just been amazing. Unfortunately, the day after that ride happened, Rick broke his wrist and was out for about 8 weeks. So we did have to kind of take that over and under our belt a little bit more than we were expecting. But it was a great ride. We are happy to have it as part of our group. And we have so much more planned. We're doing little trips for mountain biking. We're doing picnics. We've had 2 Christmas parties at Rusty Nickel, and those have been an absolute blast. We have so much planned, and I really want to thank all of you for allowing me to do this, for supporting me, and just being a part of what we are trying to do. We are all volunteers. None of us are making money off of this. We're dedicating our time. I've dedicated quite a bit of money myself. We have done some fundraising and contests and stuff like that to try to help out offset some of the cost. We have plans of doing a lot more that we would like to do. Different programs, different opportunities, and so while the possibilities are endless, unfortunately the funds are not. We have many plans, and we're hoping to implement them over the next couple of years. Joining the cycling community has changed my life. Like I said, I'm about a year and a half off my antidepressants. I found my sense of purpose. I found my sense of community. And one of the greatest parts of this is hearing the stories from other people of how this has changed their lives. How joining our bike rides have had such a positive impact on theirs. That is the greatest feeling. So I want to thank you all for your support, for riding with us, for joining us, whether it's one ride or every ride. You all are amazing, and I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the cycling community enough for allowing me to be a part of it, for accepting WNY Bikes. Thank you to the leadership team. You guys are amazing. Starting off, just me running the show to now having 7 of us has definitely helped. And we are really looking forward to an amazing 2024 season and riding with all of you. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and just truly thank you. Can't wait to ride with all of you.